What's happening YouTube? Imperial Diecast here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the scale 118 Bburago Ferrari 360 Modena. Now as you can see right here, this Bburago Ferrari 360 Modena has racing decals. This race livery would make it appear as if it is the 360 Challenge. However, this is a model that is neither nor. For instance, it has the racing livery of the 360 Challenge, but if I show you the back of the car, which I will in a moment, you will see that it does not have the typical black rear grille that the 360 Challenge otherwise would have. At the same time, this is also not the 360 Modena in the classic sense, because that is a road car and does not come with racing livery. The model that you're looking at here is from the year 1999, which means at the time of the making of this video, it's 18 years old. That's a pretty old model, and yet it is in such a good condition. I was lucky to get this off eBay for an incredibly low price. I had absolutely no idea what the hell the guy who sold it was thinking, because he sold this to me for 15 euros, including shipping. Granted, it's from the same country where I live, so the shipping was only 5 euros, but the fact that he was selling it for 10 euros, and the fact that it was in complete mint condition without any scratches or wears and tears, is proof that the guy really had no idea what he was letting this model go for. I checked the internet for this model, and usually it sells for around 30 to 40 euros. As you can see, the model is in Rosso Corsa Red. There are a couple other versions that Bburago has made this model in. One of them is the same color, except without the racing livery. The other option would be in blue. So let's begin reviewing this car by taking a look at the front of the car. You can already see the Shell logo, the Pirelli logo, the Ferrari badge, the 360 logo, and a couple other sponsors. I have to say I like this car a lot. This is one of those cars which... Remember, this car was released before the Ferrari 430, which in turn was released before the Ferrari 458, which in turn was released before the 488. So we're looking at a car that is 3 generations old. It was made in the late 90s up to the mid-2000s. You'll recognize the late 90s by the car's front headlights. They are in a similar style as the headlights of the Ferrari F50. And to be honest, I really hated the look of the Ferrari F50's headlights, but somehow these headlights grew on me. When it comes to opening parts, the hood of the car, the doors, and the rear engine cover can all be opened. However, I have a problem with the hood of this car in the sense that I cannot get it open unless I really tried hard, and I don't want to do that because I'm afraid I'm going to break something. What I can do, of course, is unscrew the bottom of the car, take the body apart, and then see if I can get it open from the underside. But I'm not going to do that because I have seen the opened hood in other videos, and those that have managed to get it open have had trouble getting it closed again, because there's a kind of a hook that gets in the way. So I have to say that Bburago really screwed up on the manufacturing when it comes to the opening mechanism of the hood, but otherwise they did a very good job on this car, as I will show you in a second. Let's take a look at the side profile of this car. As you can see, it has a fuel cap that is barely visible, and something that looks like a fuel cap but is probably not, because it's just a decal. You have more sponsor decals visible at the bottom of the door. And you can see that this car comes with a ventilated brake disc but no brake calipers. The brake disc moves with the tires. If we take a closer look at the car's rims, you can see that it has Ferrari logos as well as individual recessed lug nuts. The 360 Modena's blinker is unfortunately just a decal. Looking at the back of the car, it does not have the classic black rear grille, which would be standard issue on a 360 Challenge and a 360 Challenge Stradale. What's nice to see is that the Ferrari prancing horse is made out of metal and embossed. In other words, a separate piece. I also like the level of detail on the taillights. You can see that the car has a quad exhaust, and the exhaust tips are chromed. Let's now take a closer look at the rear engine cover. You can see the individual lines of the defroster carved onto the rear glass panel. which I think is a nice little additional touch. Now let's get this engine cover open. The way you do this is by simply lifting up this part. This is the car's 3.6-liter V8 engine doing approximately 400 brake horsepower. You can see the Ferrari logo emblazoned on both engine blocks, as well as the prancing horse in the middle. What I like about this engine is the depth. I mean, just look at this. It doesn't look like it's made out of one single plastic piece at all. In fact, you can see all the way to the bottom of the car. And this is a feature that used to be on the older 1990s and 1980s Ferrari models that now no longer have this kind of depth to their engines. One reason for this is probably because this model is made in Italy, and the newer Bburagos are made in China. Let's now move on to take a look at the car's interior, but first take a look at the inside of this door. The doors have an aluminum trim that looks very nice. The car's interior is made in a two-color trim, with the cream color being known as Daytona beige. I think it contrasts the black very nicely. You can already see the chrome gearbox. Taking a look at the driver's side, you can see the Ferrari logo on the steering wheel, as well as chrome floor pedals. The car even comes with a handbrake. What's also nice about this car is that it comes with seat belts. They're a little bit recessed, but nevertheless there. The car's side air intakes are not made out of perforated grille, but nevertheless look very convincing. You can see the front air intakes are done very well. The Ferrari badge is just a sticker, but it also looks nice. If we look at the bottom of the car, there's not much to see here, except that it says Ferrari 360 Modena 1999 by Bburago, scale 118, and, what I like most, made in Italy. Remember, this was when Bburago was still owned by an Italian company and not sold to the Meiteon group. I believe the sale happened sometime in the early 2000s. Now let's talk about the flaws of this car. There are barely any, to be honest, but one that really pops into my mind right now is the extreme camber of the rear wheels. Take a look at this. This is actually supposed to be like this. And yet, we have the problem of these wheels having the camber. However, this isn't a big issue because when the model is actually placed like this, you can see that the camber is no longer present. You'll notice that this model does not have the classic Ferrari Scuderia badges on its side. And perhaps another flaw that I can think of is this rather large panel gap on the right door, which, for example, isn't that big on the left door. Overall, I have to say that I'm very happy with these older Bburago models. This is Imperial Diecast signing out.